Welcome back to Healing Horizons, the space where we talk about healing. Not the highlight reel, not the hustle, the honest work of getting your mind, body, and spirit back in alignment so life actually feels like yours again. I'm your host Yusuf, and today's episode is for a high achieving woman who looks fine on the outside but inside is quietly negotiating with a glass of wine like it's a full time job. Because let's be honest, a lot of professional women don't wake up not thinking, I want chaos. They wake up thinking, I want relief. And alcohol can feel the fastest route until it isn't. My guest today is Lauren Fay, best selling author of Blurred Lines, My Reclamation of Power from Alcohol Addiction. Lauren helps professional women break the start stop cycle by changing their relationship with alcohol through a total body holistic approach. She's a living, she's living a full fun alcohol free life since January 2018, and she's here to make sobriety feel less like punishment and more like a power. So if you have ever said, I'm not alcoholic, I just can't make moderation stick, this episode is basically a sign. Lauren, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And that was the best introduction. You nailed it all in that introduction. Well done.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And Lauren, you work with women who don't identify as alcoholics, get they feel stuck, tired, and all those things. What do you think is happening in the gap between I am fine and I don't feel in control?
That's a great question. The gap between I am fine and I don't feel in control is the honest inventory of one's own life and if it's good enough for them. I think
Mm,
that there's just so much conditioning around settling and there's so much conditioning around like, oh, it's fine or it's good. And then I
yeah,
come in and I ask the question, but what if it could be great? And
yeah,
before I even come in and ask someone that question, I think they're already starting to wonder for themselves, can this be better? Can this be
mm,
better? I don't necessarily have to hit a rock bottom. I don't necessarily have to, check the boxes of what our society would label as an alcoholic, like, an empty bank account or disheveled under a bridge and homeless and all those things. You don't have to be any of those
yeah,
things. You can just say, gosh, I could have so much more satisfaction in my life or fulfillment. I could have more energy in my life. Perhaps I'm holding my own self back from my potential in my career. And all of
yeah.
that just comes down to that honest inventory with yourself and really the curiosity with the questions that you ask yourself.
And let's just say if someone's listening right now and wondering, is this actually a problem? What are
Mhm.
the clearest signals that you can tell them and they can look themselves so they can start feel like, oh, this can be my problem.
Mhm. Again, it's really getting honest with yourself. So, what I would say to someone is to close your eyes so that
Mm,
you can completely block out all external world and go
okay.
completely inside, right? And ask yourself, is this a problem to me? To my own
Mm,
understanding of what a problem is, to my own definition of what a problem is. Because if we're going to compare it to anything outside of us, we will always find someone that has it worse than
yeah.
we do, or who definitely has a problem, which means that I don't. And so it's just
Mm,
going inside and getting, again, that really deep honesty with yourself
yeah.
and asking, like, is this a problem? And that, so we can have lots of signs. We can say, hey, I'm not feeling rested when I wake up, or hey, I'm picking silly fights with my husband, or hey, I missed a promotion at work because I'm really not putting my best foot forward. We can look for things like that, and that might help you answer the question, but it
Mm,
has to be your own litmus test against yourself, how you want
yeah.
to feel in this life, how you want to show up in this life. Are you in alignment with your values? And then you can decide if it's a problem or not.
True. Very true. You know, there is this big myth that, moderation feel impossible for so many intelligent, successful, and disciplined women. Why is that?
I'm not anti-alcohol. There are plenty of people in this world that can drink alcohol completely responsibly without a,
Okay.
air quote problem. But I
Mm.
preach total moderation because I think total moderation. I preach total elimination because I believe that moderation is just a waste of energy. Quite honestly,
Okay.
when we're moderating, we're constantly negotiating with ourselves. Should I?
Mhm.
Shouldn't I? Is
Yeah.
tonight the night? Should I only have one, two? And then
Yeah.
it's just, once again, the alcohol is taking up so much energy, so much of your mental capacity. And the way I come at it is you could funnel that somewhere else in your life. If you're going
That's
to be
true.
giving energy to something, why are you giving it to alcohol? So
Mm. That's
moderation is a tricky game because it just takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort and it's kind of silly at the end of the day.
yeah. And now that you put it that way, it makes more sense. Why do the half work when you can put all your effort and just leave it?
And just leave it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's so much deeper than just leaving it. We know that. We know that we
Yeah.
have to disassociate from all of the associations. We know we have to
Mm.
build a new identity. We know our social circle is going to change. I mean, it's so much more than just leaving it, which is why moderation seems alluring. But if we
Yeah.
look at things in terms of energy, is it worth your time to have this
Mhm.
constant battle?
Okay.
I don't think it is, but there are some people that moderate and that works for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's that one mindset shift that helps someone stop treating willpower like the strategy and start building an actual system that works?
Mhm. Willpower is great until it runs out. And so we have to have a better foundation to stand on. I would say willpower is like standing on quicksand, right? And we
Mm,
cannot build a house on quicksand. And
true.
so the strategies that we need to be proven, tried and true methods of, really it comes down to the identity shift
Yeah.
rather than just like I'm a woman who can't drink alcohol or I'm a human who can't drink alcohol. It's I'm a person who chooses not to. And then you have that power back because you have choice and you're claiming your choice by choosing not to drink and identifying as someone who just doesn't drink alcohol. And then
Mm,
eventually it just stops being about the alcohol. You don't have
yeah.
to go around and identify as a person who doesn't drink alcohol because you identify as so many other things that are more important to you in your lifetime.
That is so powerful, I would say, because earlier you were giving power to alcohol that I'm not able, but now I am not. You have just disassociated yourself from alcohol and start looking at other perspectives of your life.
Mhm. Yeah, so, something we hear often is, "I am powerless to alcohol." And I
Yeah.
don't believe that is untrue, but I don't believe it's the full truth. So if we
Mhm.
were to ingest alcohol, then yes, it is very possible you are turning your power over to alcohol. But
Mm,
why not make alcohol powerless to your choice?
yeah.
Instead, your power lies in the choice not to ingest it at all.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then you are the one with the power, not the alcohol.
Wow. Your work focuses on changing beliefs and relationship patterns with alcohol. What are the most common beliefs that women are trapped into?
Really, it comes down to who would I be without it? Because we've
Mhm.
identified as a woman who drinks red wine or a top shelf martini
Yeah.
drinker, or who needs it for the social settings, or who needs it to feel more comfortable, even, on dates or even just in her own relationship. And so we
Yeah.
have these beliefs that it is serving a purpose. And so what
Mm,
we have to do is dismantle those beliefs and ask ourselves, is that really true? Because
yeah.
yes, it is true that perhaps, alcohol can calm your nerves for a moment, but then we know that after a while it exasperates the nerves because that's what it's designed to do. It's a depressant. And
Yeah.
so we just can say like, okay, I say I need it, but is that really true? And the only way to find out if it's not true is to
Yeah.
practice doing it without the thing.
Mm,
Practice going into a social situation without the alcohol. Probably be very uncomfortable at first, but the more and more
yeah.
you practice, the easier it'll get. And so we just have to keep doing the opposite of what we believe the belief is so that we can
Mm,
dismantle them. But really, I would say the most common one is the social. Just it's a social lubricant. It's the only way I can be social. It's the only way I can get out there. And I'm
yeah.
here to tell you that's not true because I've been not drinking for 8 years. I'm a very social person.
To all those women who are listening to that and who are afraid, that sobriety can make them boring, isolated, or too tense in social moments. What is your
Mhm.
take on them? What your advice to them?
My take and my advice to them is that's probably going to be true for a little while. You
Mm,
might feel very boring for a little while. You might feel very shy for a little while. But what's going to happen is you're also going to reevaluate the things that you're actually doing. So
mm,
perhaps you find out when you stop drinking that I really don't like starting my Sunday morning at a mimosa brunch. I would prefer to start my Sunday morning on a hike with my dog,
yeah.
and so you start to actually take space where maybe you're boring and maybe you're saying no to invitations because then you get to again reevaluate, well, what do I actually want to be doing with my time? So I
True.
want to just advise everyone that even in this world of instantaneous results and same day Amazon delivery, like this is not a quick process. We have to give ourselves lots of grace and lots of
Mm.
time to just ease into a new way of living.
You know, that fear is very loud, clear, and actually very, very true. And it's wild how culture sells alcohol as the personality upgrade. But in reality, it can be like a mute button on your real self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. It's you really don't know who you truly are and how you show up and what makes you laugh the loudest and what makes you feel the biggest feelings until you stop putting things in your body that mutes the opportunity for those to become available. And so
Yeah.
we just want to be really mindful of what am I consuming that is going to dampen my own authenticity, or what am I consuming that's going to dampen my intuition on how I see things and what I
Mm.
believe in. And, alcohol is designed to do that. Again, I'm not on an anti-alcohol campaign, but
Mhm.
story after story after story is the person who eliminates it. And they literally, to cliff note it, say, I came back online. I came
Yeah.
back online. And then eventually it's like, why would I want to now drink the thing that takes me offline?
Yeah.
You don't want to, not when you come back and you realize, hey, I can survive being an alcohol free human. And not only
Mm.
can I survive, I can actually thrive. And it feels pretty good.
True. You mention a total body approach. If someone is newly alcohol free or sober curious, what are the first wellness levers you focus on so they don't relapse into same emotional loop?
Well, when we start with the physical body, for instance, looking at, alcohol might, it takes our energy away, right? It might disrupt our sleep patterns and we wake up not feeling that great. But the other
Mm,
thing that alcohol can do is it creates a lot of idleness, especially if a lot of time is spent being hungover. And
mm,
so, the just starting on the physical body, like the first body, I would, always encourage people to just keep moving. And that is
mm,
what ties all the bodies together is when we keep moving, our energy keeps moving. When the energy keeps moving, we're not stagnant. And when we're not stagnant, our emotional, mental body doesn't go all haywire. And so
mm,
it's just, it's all connected.
that's true. Can you walk us through a simple hard moment protocol for cravings? Like what to do in first 10 minutes when the urge spikes?
Beautiful question. The first thing to do is honestly to just pause. There's again, the power lies in choice. And
Mm,
when someone is on autopilot, then all of these moments of choice are collapsed into one automatic action. And so
yeah.
if we pause, then we see that not only is the choice to drink it, the choice is whether you open the fridge and pull the bottle of beer out. The choice is whether you take the cap off the bottle. The choice is whether you bring that bottle to your lips. And then the choice is whether you put the alcohol in your mouth. And then the choice is whether or not you swallow it. And so if we pause, we see how many opportunities we actually have to choose differently.
Mm. That is so practical because in that moment, we are not looking for a lecture. We are looking for a lifeline, a simple route that we see, a narrow escape. And a
Mhm.
step by step playbook that you just gave, people can actually follow.
Exactly. And so then you pause and you don't, pull the beer out of the fridge or pour the wine in the glass, and you decide what you want to do else, do instead. What else do you want to do instead? And I would probably advise you to walk away from where the alcohol is, right? So
Yeah.
that it's not in your face. And I'm a big advocate of getting outside. I think once we step outside, our world gets so much bigger And so when we're in the kitchen negotiating over the alcohol, that's the size of our world, pretty dang small, the size of our kitchen with the alcohol. So
Yeah.
you pause, you decide not to, and then you just change your scenery and you do something else instead, and you just keep practicing that over and over until, again, your automatic action is no longer collapsed into one action.
It's true. The subtitle of your book is You Are Not Powerless.
Mhm.
What does reclaiming power actually look like in real life after alcohol stops being the coping tool?
It all comes back to choice. Choice, choice, choice. Like as humans, we have the beautiful gift of choice. And so we're practicing it by choosing to no longer drink alcohol. We're practicing it by choosing to no longer let alcohol be in the driver's seat of our life or make any decisions for us.
Yeah.
And so that's just one area that we're practicing it. And when we master this area, not even master, just when we get more time practicing it, suddenly we're starting to do it in other areas of our life.
Yeah.
Oh, am I aligned with my job? Am I aligned with my partnership? Am I aligned with my friends? Am I aligned with where I live? And
Mm.
suddenly the availability of choice just gives you this like autonomy and this authority to really design your life and live the way you want to live. So I really do believe that reclamation of power is feeling the way you want to feel, living the
Mm.
way you want to live, to a in a life that is satisfactory and fulfilling to you. And that all comes with the belief that we can choose all of those things for us. It's not, it's not chosen for us. And so that's the energetic concept of it.
For women who feel like they've already lost years of confidence and their identity to alcohol,
Mhm.
what is best advice for rebuilding that self trust without spiraling into regret?
What a great question. I mean, you said confidence, we already have the decision. So we know a decision needs to be made to stop drinking the alcohol. And then we know that that needs to then morph into identifying as someone who doesn't drink alcohol so that it's your choice is trumping alcohol's choice. But then there's the confidence. And it does not come right away, but I do believe
Mhm.
it's required because confidence is going to be the difference between whether or not you are anchored in your decision or whether or not you are showing the world that it's negotiable and that you can maybe be talked out of it. And so, confidence, for instance, is when you step into that work gathering and you don't let someone offering you a glass of wine sway you into maybe possibly wanting it because you feel like you don't fit in without it or you're going to be judged if you don't drink it.
Yeah.
A confident person, it doesn't care what other people think. A
Mm.
confident person isn't going to let a decision that they know is best for them be altered by someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
And so that's and this isn't being, like it's not being arrogant or selfish. It's really just being protective of your own decision that you made for yourself. And you are the most important person you're making the decision for. So it
Yeah.
really should be protected. It's a sacred decision. So
Mm.
that's what I would say about confidence. I don't recall the last part of the question that you asked.
You've
Um,
already answered that.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But for just the sake of conversation, it was that how that they can move on without getting into that loop of regret.
Oh, the loop of regret. Yep.
Yeah.
And that really comes again to the shift in perception. And so if we still believe that alcohol is good for us or helping us in some way or that it's making us better, then we're going to still want it. But when
Mm.
we switch that and we believe that it's not helping us or making us better, and then we don't want it, then there just really isn't regret in letting it go. The regret is going to show up when someone makes that sacred decision for themselves and then lets someone else change their mind.
Yeah.
That's when you let yourself down and you break your own trust. And that's where the regret comes from. And so, trusting yourself that you've made the right decision for you is the foundation of your liberation and your freedom on this journey.
That's true. Lauren, are there any ways that our listeners can connect with you?
The best way to connect with me is through my book, blurredlinesbook.com. It's a memoir of my life was really about secrets and the secrets that I kept as a high achieving woman, but who I was behind closed doors with my battle with alcohol and then that reclamation of power on the other side. And that's just a great way to connect, to really get into storytelling. But if you want to connect deeper one to one, there's a way to email me, of course, or to connect on Instagram at Lauren Fay Coaching. But I would advise everyone to pick up the book, blurredlinesbook.com. That's a great way to start.
Perfect. And please check the description of the podcast. You'll be finding all these links there. Lauren, is there any last message that you want to leave us with?
I really would love everyone to just take an opportunity to get quiet with themselves and have those first few honest questions. The
Hmm.
willingness to have the curiosity. You don't need to make any big change today. You don't need to make any big decision today. It's going to start with that little voice inside of you that's been quieted for so long. When that voice can come through, it will give you some clarity and some direction. And from there, you can seek guidance and seek counsel and seek support and make a decision. But just start with that little quiet conversation with yourself and see what's coming through for you, because it might be
Yeah,
not what you think it is. And that's beautiful. It could be something that could radically change your life.
true. Lauren, thank you so much for bringing the truth and the tools. This was empowering, grounded, and honestly a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this conversation and for our listeners. Very inspiring, very motivating. And I really do hope someone that feels, that they can go and they can do this big, hard thing too. So thank you for the really insightful questions and having the platform for this message to be heard far and wide.
It is our pleasure. And to everyone listening, your healing is not about being good, it's about being free. Keep moving toward what makes you feel clear, connected, and alive. This is Healing Horizons with Yusuf. If the episode helped you, share it with someone who's been quietly struggling and leave a review so more people can find a space. Until next time, keep healing, keep choosing yourself.